Shalom.
Shalom.
So, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua.
Want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. All right, so we just want to do a little quick lesson on us being unprofitable servants of the Most High, you know, and really understanding the role that we're in, and you know, staying humble in this thing, because ultimately, man, the Most High necessarily doesn't need us. You know, as the scriptures say, you know, He can raise up rocks to do His work if He wants to. You know, so with that being said, we got to hold ourselves in a certain standard, whereas, you know, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we do have, you know, it's all through the will and the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and He, you know, He ordains it on a certain measure of each individual brother. You know what I mean? So we can't sit here and think ourselves to be somebody when we're really nothing.
That's right.
You know?
So we're preaching for you back here.
Kind
Galatians chapter 6, verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
Right. You know, so if you think yourself to be something when you're really nothing, you're deceiving yourself ultimately at the end of the day, man, because ultimately, you know, the understanding that you may have of the scriptures or the certain breakdowns that you may know, man, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua gave you those breakdowns. You know, He gave you the understanding. You know, so you can't sit here and think of yourself, be like, you know, I got all this wisdom, I got all this knowledge, you know, and you start puffing yourself up. You know, because as the scripture says, knowledge puffeth up. You know, and that's not who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is looking for. He's looking for humble servants. You know, he's looking for servants that are going to be able to humble themselves down and serve each other.
That's right.
You know. All right, we can start off at Luke real quick here.
This is Luke 17:7. It says, "But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat?"
Right. So he's pretty much saying, so you have a servant who's out there, you know, plowing, you know, feeding the cattle. When you really think about this story, you know, that servant is talking about us. You know, and the master is, you know, in this sense is Yahushua. You know, and we're out there plowing, you know, we're feeding the cattle, and then he's pretty much saying, is the master going to say to him, you know, that's out and doing the field, come sit down and eat? Go ahead.
It says, "And will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself, and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink?"
Right, so he's pretty much saying no, like, but he's what the master's going to say, you know, is after you feed the cattle and feed the flock, he's pretty much going to say, go ahead and make ready the food now, gird thyself and serve me, you know, till I have eaten and drinking, okay? And then afterward, after I'm done doing what I'm doing, after I'm done getting my portion, then you can eat and drink. All right, go ahead.
It says, "Doth he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I try not."
Right, so he's pretty much saying, is he going to thank the servant, you know, because he did the things that was commanded of him? I think not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a child and you tell your child to go clean up his room, or to go downstairs and take the trash out, or to wash the dishes, you know, are you going to walk up to him, man, hey, man, I really thank you so much for doing that. You know, thank you for cleaning up your room. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, like, you told your son to go clean your room, you go and clean his room. You ain't about to sit here and walk in there and, you know, oh, thank you so much for doing that.
Yup.
No, you know, hey, go clean your room up. Hey, you know, go downstairs and take the trash. They take the trash outside. I need these dishes washed. Go ahead and wash the dishes.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, those are your chores, man.
Yeah.
Those are things that you would set up, and those are your tasks that were given from your parents to do, man. They don't need, like the brother said, they don't need to thank you for that. You know, that's something that's an actual chore that needs to be done. You know?
Yeah, because Jake, man, in the spirit, man, most of our people, they always like to have credit and gratitude shown for stuff that they supposed to be doing anyway.
Right.
Like that comedian Chris Rock, he did a stand-up a few years back. He was like you'll have Jake, he'll say, man, I'll pay my child support, or I mean, I'll take care of my kids. Like, nigga, you supposed to, man. Like, you want a cookie or something, like, you don't get no extra credit for something you're supposed to be doing anyway, and that's the same way the Most High looks at it.
Right.
You're doing the work, man, within, you know, your different occupation, you know, duties in the ministry.
Exactly.
It ain't nothing extra, you know. We're profitable servants like the brothers going into.
We're scheduled to do this work, man.
Exactly.
Like this is our reasonable service, man. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says, this is back in St. Luke 17:10. It says, so likewise ye, when ye have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants.
Right.
We have done that which was our duty to do.
Right. So we're unprofitable servants, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly what a steward is. An overseer is an unprofitable servant.
Yep.
You know, like back in the slave days, you may have had a Jake that was a steward over a household. You know, that watched over other slaves. You know, but ultimately that steward of that household, and this is just an example, that steward wasn't getting paid to do what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's kind of like the same thing here, man, because we're servants and slaves for Yahweh's sake, man.
Exactly.
You know, so with that being said, if he commanded us to go in the highways and hedges to do this work, you know, he commanded us to preach the gospel and feed the flock. You know, like why are you trying to seek a reward out of it? Like a carnal reward, that is. You know, like
Right.
Whereas you're trying to get people to pay for shirts and, you know, pay for DVDs and all this other kind of BS, man. That's not what Yahweh said.
Hey, but the thing is too, if I could just say this, there is a reward, a spiritual reward
Exactly.
that's coming when we enter into the kingdom of heaven. Well, it's gonna start off when Yahweh returns to deliver the elect, you know, with salvation. But then it's gonna translate into the kingdom, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we really gonna be able to just enjoy just the fruits of putting in the labor. But on this side, it ain't really nothing to be boasting in yourself about, man. Just do the work. Put your head down and go to work.
Right.
We doing, yeah.
So this is the least we can do, man.
Yep.
The Lord went on the cross and took the worst beating on the man. This is the least we can do is go out and preach
right.
1 to 2 times or 3 times a week. You know, read. You know, chill out until he comes. Because there ain't really nothing out here that's fun anymore. This world is whack, man. These people are bugged out. I don't want to be around them. I don't want to talk to none of them.
Yep.
So what else you going to do? So that's the least we can do is go out and preach the word and read about 30 minutes or an hour a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like the brother referencing in Romans, that's our reasonable service, man. That's reasonable.
Yep.
You know, that's a sweet deal. Just read, study, preach, put lessons together, and then gain the whole world in return. You know, that's at least. So I mean, ain't nothing to boast and brag about.
Right.
You know, it's a reasonable thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, man, we gotta lay up our treasures in heaven, man. You ain't really supposed to be up here trying to lay your treasures out for temporal things that you can see. You know, because ultimately, all the things that you try to lay up on this side, man, it's all gonna be burned up anyways. You know, so it's like, man, we gotta understand that this work that we doing, man, this is our job. This is, man, we have to do this. And if you don't do that, and we're gonna get that in a little bit, man, because if we don't preach, man, you're gonna be destroyed if you don't want to teach, man.
Yep.
You know? Did you have something?
Yeah, I want to get this in Romans.
Come.
This is Romans 12:1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
Right, man. It's our reasonable service at the end of the day to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, to be holy, to be separate.
That's right, brother.
You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be like everybody that we see out on a regular daily basis, man. You know? We're not going to be like all the other camps that you see. You know? Because we can preach the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, you know, but them other camps, man, they could be going off on certain things. You know? There's going to be disagreements, but ultimately what the scripture's saying, man, this is our reasonable service to do this work. It's reasonable for us to go out there when it's cold to preach or when it's hot. You know? All the BS that we've done in our lives, you know, all the wickedness that we've done, this is what we're supposed to do. You know? Did you have any more to that?
That was it on that. It was another one I was looking for. Hold on.
Con. Do you have Job? Con. You can start at Job 22.
Job chapter 22, verse 1.
Con.
Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, can a man be profitable unto the Most High, as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? Is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous?
Right. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty, to the Yahweh, that we're righteous? You know, our righteousness is as filthy rags, man. So is there does the Most High have any pleasure in that? Go ahead.
Or is it gain to him that thou makest thy ways perfect?
So is it any kind of gain to the Most High that you're gonna make yourself perfect when He's already perfect? You know? Go ahead.
Will he reprove thee for fear of thee? Will he enter with thee into judgment? Is not thy wickedness great?
Is not thy wickedness great? All of us have committed hella sins, man. Hella wickedness. Things that we are worthy of death for, man. Go ahead.
And thine iniquities infinite?
Right, and that's the point I want to grab in that one. And our iniquities are infinite, man. So knowing that our iniquities are infinite and that our wickedness is ultimately great, as the Apostle Paul said in Romans the 7th chapter, there's no good thing that dwells within us, man. We're inherently wicked at the end of the day, man. So with us knowing that and knowing everything that we've done so far, and then we got this truth, and you want to sit here and boast about it, thinking that you're somebody. Man, the Most High don't need you, man. He doesn't need you He doesn't need any of us.
That's right, brother.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need us. It's not like He needs us to preach this, whereas He can come back. No, if the Most High wanted to come back without us, He could do it. Now it's ordained for the elect to rise up and to preach His gospel, because it was already written from the foundation of the earth. But ultimately, man, like in that verse 6, like in verse 5, it says, "Not thy wickedness great and thy iniquities infinite." Man, bro, like we have done so many messed up things in our life, man. But the Most High showed mercy, man. He only showed mercy to a certain amount of people on this earth that are going to understand the wisdom and knowledge of His word, man. Which is ultimately mercy, man. Because when you look at 2/3 of our people, 2/3 of our people are bugged out their minds, man. They don't know the name of the Lord. They don't know His judgments and the statutes. They don't know what the Lord is coming back to do. You know? So with us already knowing and already understanding that, man, a lot of hell and destruction is about to take place, man, that's mercy, man, because that lets us get ourselves right, man. And the Most High is the one that ultimately is granting the mercy right now, man.
That's right.
You know? Did you have something?
No.
Okay. Could you grab 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 16?
That's 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 16. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of.
Right. For though we preach the gospel, we don't have nothing to glory. We don't have nothing to glory of. You know what do we have to glory because we out here doing the work? What do we have to glory of when it's a commandment for us to teach?
That's right.
And the Most High commanded us to tell us that we have to do this, and we're gonna glory in something that He told us to do. Go ahead.
For necessity is laid upon me.
Right. So necessity is laid upon us, man. It's needful for us to teach, man. It's needful for us to preach. All right. Go ahead.
Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel.
Right, and that word woe means destruction. All right, so he's pretty much saying destruction is unto me if I don't preach the gospel.
That's right.
You know, so that's our job. You know, that's our ultimate job that we have, man. I mean, yeah, we do have worldly jobs, but this job right here, this is a necessity. Like, you got to go to work to pay your bills. You don't go to work. You don't wake up going to work every single morning, glorying in the job that you do at your job to get the money back to Esau and pay your rent, or to pay your phone bill, or to pay your water bill, or whatever it is, man. No, man, you get up and you go do your regular job because you know you need to. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. And it's the same thing with this, man. If you don't preach, man, you ain't gonna make it.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, man. The Most High gave us a specific knowledge for each brother to go out and do the work that He ordained, man. So there's no reason to be boastful there because you didn't get the knowledge on your own. He gave you a specific amount of knowledge to go do His work.
Yep.
So it's all for the glorification of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Because we didn't gain no knowledge, we didn't start no program. You know what I'm saying? We had no help in this. You know what I'm saying? He set certain men up to preach His word, and He gave them the knowledge and wisdom and understanding and the gift of faith. So everything was given unto us, man. So there was nothing that we could do carnally to boast about. You know? Verse 17, for if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me.
Right, so he's saying if we do this willingly, I have a reward. You know, because we're preaching because we know that if we're the elect, you know, there's going to be a huge reward for us, man. A kingdom, dominion. You know, have a rulership. You know, but it also says, but if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me, and that word dispensation is oikonomia, I believe it is, which means it's a manager of a household or a manager of management of affairs or a stewardship. You know, because I want to actually grab something real fast. That's kind of going into that same verse there, real quick. This is Galatians chapter 1. Verse 15, it says, but when it pleased the Most High, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace to reveal his son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. You know, and the reason why I brought that out is because, man, it says, because in verse 17 it says, but if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward, but if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. If it's against your will, it's against your will if you have this understanding, man. Because the Most High, according to Galatians, what we just read, is that it pleased the Most High who separated us from our mother's womb and called us by grace when we were even in the womb, man, to go out here and preach the word, man. So ultimately, it's not our will. It's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai at the end of the day, man. And that's ultimately the mindset you got to think, man. Like, man, look, I don't have it. The Most High gave me this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. So I gotta operate in this world humbly.
That's right.
You know, because if you over here trying to boast yourself, you know, thinking that you on some type of level, that you got yourself on some type of level, man, the Most High can strip all that knowledge away from you, man. You could be a bug out. And there's plenty of examples of what we've seen, of what I've seen at least since I've been in the truth. You know, brothers follow by brothers. I thought, or I'm not gonna call them brothers no more, but you know,